And the book, some of it's dated. Much of it isn't, but some of it's dated. But I don't want to go deep into the book, but I do want to hit some highlights from this book on how to be strong, healthy, and happy. Some things to think about. Bob Hoffman, hero from World War I who'd been through hell. I'm just going to read some quotes from this. Physical training pays. I always say that any exercise is better than no exercise. Now, he talks about sleep a little bit. And those folks out there that harass me on Twitter, Doc Parsley, constantly harassing me on Twitter, telling me to sleep more. This is what Bob Hoffman had to say about sleep. There are different speeds of sleep. Some sleep faster than others and can awake refreshed with a moderate number of hours of sleep, which would leave others tired and worn. Fast sleeping is a result of properly operating bodily functions, of perfect functioning of all organs. And it comes from accustoming the body to an hour or two less sleep. Many great men of history are reported to have slept only a fraction of the time that the average person spends sleeping. It was said that Thomas Edison, the world-famous inventor, would sleep but 4 hours a night. But he had a cot in his laboratory on which he would lie and think, and his assistants have reported he took naps during the day. Many men who are reported to sleep but 4 hours a night will make up for it with naps during daylight hours. So there you go. You're good to go. That's all you need to do. Sleep faster. Talking to you, Echo. Mm-hmm. Tuning in. What do you get? 9 hours? 10 hours?
No. Regular 8, I think.
Nice. Sleep faster. Now, speaking of that, too much sleep is not a benefit. Rather, it is depressing, causes sluggishness, and a state of lethargy. I like that. Too much sleep. Take that, Doc Parsley out there. But in all, Doc. Do you know Doc Parsley? He trains.
Vaguely.
Yeah, but he's a doctor, but he's done a lot of stuff with sleep and studying sleep, and he's always giving me a hard time because sleep is good for you. Yeah. I'm only kidding, everybody. Sleep is definitely good for you. I should sleep more. I just have a hard time doing it. There's so much to be done in the world.
And you're sleeping fast. So.
And I am sleeping a little bit faster than everybody else.
Evidently.
Another quote. Any young man who desires to obtain the most from life should spend a good portion of his time improving himself physically. Regardless of your age, you should make it a rule to learn something new each day and to do something each day to improve yourself physically. So he's talking about mental and physical strength. He talks about learning stuff, memorizing stuff, doing math in your head, just getting smarter. I believe we talk about that sometimes. The best hobby of all is physical training. Concentrate on your activities. Instead of worrying about the future, welcome the opportunity to face problems, ordeals, or battles of your life. You can build yourself so that you obtain pleasure from overcoming, from defeating problems, apparently insurmountable difficulties. You can overcome all your difficulties and win. You will find the next encounter easier. You will have greater confidence in your own ability. Got problems? Good. Let's face them. And actually, I forgot to mention this, but this book, I Remember the Last War, I got from somebody on Twitter. And I'm sorry, hey, everybody on Twitter, number one, I don't know if people want to be mentioned or not. Mm-hmm. And also, when I transfer what people tell me to the document that I keep, it doesn't pull their names. Gotcha. So they're just lost. But usually people hit me up afterwards and say, yo,
Right.
I gave you that book. So somebody recommended the book to me. I remember last war. And once I started doing some research about Bob Hoffman, and I saw he had another book that was literally called How to Be Strong, Healthy, and Happy, I just ordered it immediately so I could see what he had to say about it all. And I think he has some pretty good information. Here's another quote. People who know nothing of the pleasures and advantages of having super strength and health often say, what good are muscles? They say they have no use for them, that they are healthy. But they are only half alive in many cases, for they will never have felt the indescribable sense of power and well-being, the sense of superiority or capability that strong persons feel. Many youths have eliminated an inferiority complex by the growing knowledge of the power they possess by their physical ability or superiority over average persons. We might have to do an ego check here, Bob, on that one. But actually, he's going to ego check it right here himself. I do not mean by this that strong men should go around bullying others by demonstrating their strength. As an actual fact, the stronger and more capable a man, the less likely he is to make a show of his strength by hurting or fighting others. But strength of mind and body does beget confidence, determination, perseverance, and many other admirable qualities. So I think he brought it back around again. And it's funny, you and I were talking before the podcast started about how some people, if they're a little bit insecure, but they want to be a tough guy, they got to act like that.
They display it, yeah.
And when then you're looking at them kind of like, this guy must not be that tough because he's got to act this way.
Yeah.
So they actually are getting less respect than they think they are.
Yep.
But if they actually had confidence in their situation, if they knew that they could handle themselves, they wouldn't be acting like that.
Yep.
Here's another little something to think about. Don't worry about things that might happen. Work hard and do the best you can, and if something happens, it can't be helped. Don't give up. Never cry over spilt milk. What is done. It can't be helped when it's too late. I have survived some apparently overwhelming difficulties easily enough with this point of view. Sort of your basic. I mean, no use crying over spilled milk. Hey.
Yeah, don't abuse that one though, because you know how people have that attitude, but then sometimes they'll let it overflow and it'll make itself. They'll allow it to be an excuse, to go.
Yeah, I don't
unprepared.
Care. Yeah, no, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, but it can do it, because it's like there might be a small like gray area, because they're like, oh, I don't really care that much about the outcome, and what's going to happen is going to happen. So it might, like I said, overflow into the part of their mind of preparation.
Oh yeah, don't want to let that happen.
Yeah, so because the opposite is like if you obsess over the outcome, you might obsess over the preparation. Maybe, I mean, those kind of go hand in hand a little bit. Mm-hmm. So if you go the opposite, you can get that. Be like, whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. So whatever.
That's not the excuse we're looking for.
No, not at all. That's what I'm saying. Be careful with that,
Here we go. A few more of these. If you want to live long and be healthy, strong, and happy, acquire habits of activity right now. If you are tempted to sit in an easy chair, find something to keep you busy. A few minutes to a half an hour with the weights will be best. If you find yourself going to the garage for your car to get to the grocery store, walk instead. I like this one right here. If you don't feel like getting dressed to go out, do it anyways. Instead of lying down after a meal, find something to do. Don't pass the buck, as they say in the Army. Do it yourself if it involves muscular action. Clean off the snow, cut the grass, spade the garden. That's a good one. That's just a general rule. If you don't feel like something because you're being lazy, just do it. Don't be lazy. The thing that you could do tomorrow, do it today. Do that thing today. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you get this. If you put off until another day your good intentions to normalize your body, it won't help. The road to despair and unhappiness is paved with good intentions lost along the way. I think he's just saying get after it, basically, is what I'm getting. This is what I'm getting from Bob Hoffman. This is just old school. Just some old school knowledge right here. If our country was invaded and our young men were a lot of cream puffs, probably cowards through never having experienced hard work, athletic competition, or a good punch in the nose, we would lose to the invaders, lose our freedoms, and things worth more than life itself. So he's basically saying be harder.
Toughen up.
Be tougher. I support this idea 100%. Do things that make you tougher and better. Yes. Activity is life. Stagnation is death. In life, there is movement. These are all well-known truisms. And exercise, bringing healthful activity to every organ, gland, and cell of the body, keeps the entire body and mind radiantly alive and with a feeling of pep, energy, and well-being that makes one so buoyant and alive that they feel like jumping and running. Oh, he's fired up. Exercise builds coordination, balance, control of the muscles. It builds speed, judgment of time and space and distance. Makes the entire body more responsive to the will. And it teaches the body to do the right thing in times of danger, even before it is directed by the mind. Exercise is the best insurance against disease or sickness. Exercise builds confidence, for there is no road to supreme confidence as sure as the knowledge of one's physical and mental ability. It cultivates power of will, gives you complete mastery of your physical and mental self, promotes personal efficiency, and all desirable mental characteristics. Exercise improves the efficiency of every part of the body. It helps you sleep sounder and faster so that you have more time for work and pleasure. Makes it possible for you to earn more. Exercise makes it possible to live more. Exercise will only take 1/10 of the time you now spend on foolish expenditures of time and energy. This is funny because this is written in like 1930 something. Now you have time to sit around to read for entertainment. Too often, true detective stories, other true stories which do you no good, but merely tell you of the troubles of others. You spend a lot of time at the movies, perhaps, or listening to the radio, in idle talk or gossip, in watching athletic events which others put forth effort and receive physical benefit. Add the interweb into that equation and social media, and you've got no time in the day.
Yeah, it's essentially, the internet is basically all that on the computer.
Yeah, all that without moving. All that just through your thumbs.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So it's sure that you can find time for exercise. To obtain much of what is worth in life, you must find time. Your health demands it. And I'm going to wrap it up right here with this one. But probably you have done as the majority do. Drifted along from day to day, promising yourself that you would start exercising tomorrow or next week or next month when the weather becomes cooler. Tomorrow comes, next week and next month, cool weather, and even next year comes and goes, and you do nothing about it. After years of thinking about exercise but not acting, you find the firm, rounded, attractive muscles of your youth have changed into the weakened, soft muscles of middle age. You take on a little excess flesh and make mental note some night when you gaze upon yourself in the mirror that you'll have to do something, cut down on starches or sweets, get more exercise. But you've developed an enormous appetite during these years, and at best you refrain from eating sweets for a day or two. It seems that all the things you like are the best fat producers. You can't give them up. You notice you don't have endurance anymore. You get tired after you walked a block or two. Your wind isn't as good as it used to be. Remember last night how you puffed when you ran for the streetcar? Remember how it made you blow to carry that empty trunk up to the attic? Your tailor pokes you good-naturedly when he's fitting your suit and remarks that the fat is piling on and your waist is increasing by inches. These are all reasons why you should exercise. It's not too late now. It's never too late as long as you are able to be around to exercise and improve yourself physically. Men of all ages receive quick results from proper physical training. It's never too late to make corrections in your mode of living. Some classic stuff there.